channel. How you guys doing? Hope everyone is doing great. If you are new here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you are also welcome. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a maxi flare dress with a plungy neckline. So I have here Ankara fabric is 6 years. I also have this net fabric I'll be using for the yoke. Can you see? I have my velvet ribbon. I'm going to be using this to embellish the neckline. So for the flare, remember that the Ankara always comes in a length 45, 46 thereabouts. So it's always come in a shorter length. So because the dress is a long dress, what I'm going to do is to prepare the Ankara for the flare. So I'm going to be cutting this Ankara into 3 places, two yards into 3 places. I'll quickly do that and I'll come back to show you what to do next. So I'm done cutting the Ankara into 2 yards in 3 places. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to grab one piece and I will fold again into two from the middle, please. Not from this end, not from here. Please, not from this end, but from the middle this way. Okay, so I'm going to slash open. I'm going to cut it into two again, just one piece. I'm going to cut into two again. I've already done that. Look at the piece I've cut into two. Can you see? You can see I cut it from the middle. Can you see? So what I'm going to do is to grab this two pieces I've cut again. I'm going to grab the remaining two and I will join them to the remaining two so that I can have a very long length. I should have more than 60 inches long, okay? So that by the time I fold my flare, I will have the length I so desire, okay? So that's that. So I'll quickly go over to my machine and I will join the small piece to the other bigger two piece. So I'm done joining the Ankara fabric. So I have two pieces now. After joining, I have two pieces now. You can see where I joined it at the down parts. Can you see? So each piece is 2 yards of length, 68 and a half. 2 yards of length, 68 and a half for each piece. So I have two here. So the next thing we're going to be doing is to fold the fabric into a bias form. So I'm going to fold my fabric in a diagonal form. And this is how to go about it. So I'll get one end. This is one end. Can you see? This is one end. And I'll turn it this way as if I'm forming a triangle. Can you see what I did? So this is it. Can you see this one end? I'll fold this way. So after folding, this is what we'll have. Can you see the full length? So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to start imputing my measurements. Now starting from the shoulder I'm working with is 15 inches divided by 2 will give me 7.5. I'm going to place my tape on my fabric where I will get 7.5. So it's at this point. I'm going to mark the line. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my neckline measurements. Now the dress has a turtleneck. So for the back neckline, I'll be working with 3 inches width and 1 inch depth. Okay, for the back, and I will connect this way. Please follow my instruction. You might not see my marking, but just follow my instruction, you understand. So for the neckline for the front, it's going to be 3 inches by 3.5 depth. Okay, so this is it. Can you see? We'll connect this way. So that's that. From the point of my shoulder, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and this is the 1 inch. I will connect it to my neckline this way. Can you see? So from this point, I'm going to take my armhole length. The armhole length I'm working with is supposed to be 8 inches. But because I don't want some flesh showing around the armhole, I'll go with 7.5. So I'm going to mark 7.5. And at that point, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement again, which is 7.5. And I will mark 7.5 here. Can you see? So I'll connect to my shoulder line. That is the 1 inch drop down this way. I hope you are not lost at this point. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my bust measurement. The bust I'm working with is 40 divided by 4 will give me 10 inches. So this is my 10 inches plus 1.5 seam allowance will give me 11 and a half. So this is it. I'll mark that. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to connect my armhole. Now I'm going to use this to cut the back as well. So what I'm going to do is to mark out the back armhole. Then I will mark, I'm going to mark the back armhole, connect it, and mark my front armhole as well. So by the time I'm done cutting out the back, I will now have my front and reshape the armhole for the front. I hope you get that. So I'm going to measure my armhole line, divide by 2. I will divide it by 2. The armhole line, remember, is 7.5. I will divide it by 2, okay, which will give me 3 3/4. At the point of 3 3/4, I will go in by ½ inch for the back. So this is it. And for the front, I'll go in by 3 3/4. We are cutting both the front and the back, remember. So I'm going to form the curve of my back first. So with my curve ruler, I'm going to connect it this way. This is the back armhole first, and you see, and the front armhole. The front armhole. It's simple. Just follow my own instructions, you understand. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to impute my bust point measurement, the on the bust and above the bust points. You might be wondering, what do we need all this measurement? Yes, we need it, because if you look at the front of the dress, you will notice that curve there. That is that triangular shape there. So we need our on the bust, we need our bust point and above the bust to get that shape. So what I'm going to do is to place my tape on my shoulder, mark out my underbust. The underbust length is 15 inches, so this is my 15 inches here. The bust point I am working with is 11 inches. So the distance between my bust point and my underbust is 4 inches. So from my 11 inches, I'll go up by 4 inches and I'll mark to get my above the bust. Hope you understand that. So at the point of the above the bust, I'm going to go in by 4 inches. That is my nipple to nipple measurements. Is 8 inches divided by 2 will give me 4 inches. Please, I hope you are not lost. So instead of marking 4 inches, I'll mark 3.5, because I need to join the yoke to that part. So by the time I fix my yoke, it will return back to 4 inches. So I'll mark 3.5. So this is 3.5. Okay. At that point, I'm going to connect straight to my underbust, but I'll go up by ½ inch from my underbust. So instead of marking 15 inches, I'll have a 14.5. So by the time I join my yoke, it will return back to 15 inches. Remember, we are cutting directly on the fabric. That's why we are doing this. So we have to consider that. So the next thing I'm going to do is for my above the bust, I'll connect straight to my under bust this way. By the time you watch the video over and over again, you understand. So from my armhole, I'll come down by 1.5. This is my 1.5. Can you see? So I'm going to connect the shape to the armhole. This way. Can you see? Can you see what we have here? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark out the length of the gown. Now, if you're still confused about this whole drawing at the front, please don't be. When I'm done cutting the back, I will still explain the front again, okay? So I'm going to place my tape on my shoulder line, and I'm going to mark the length of 61. The length is 60 inches plus 1 inch hemming allowance will give me 61. So I'm going to drag my fabric up so I can get the length. The table is not that long, please bear with me. No, I don't want to do this on the floor because I won't be able to capture it well. So I've already marked out 61. So what I'm going to do now, remember that this is a fillet. I can't just go about placing my tape and getting 61 and all that. No, if I do that, by the time I open up the gown, the hemline will be very funny. So what I'm going to do, since I've already marked out from the shoulder and from the center front, I mark out the shoulder starting from the shoulder. Sorry, I mark out the length starting from the shoulder. Now, what I'm going to do now is to place my tape at this top parts here, this top parts, and I'm going to measure down to where I mark the 61, what I have there. This is so simple. Okay. So from that point, I have 70. Okay. So I'm going to be placing my tape there. I'm going to leave my tape there at that point. I have 70. This is from here to where I have my shoulder. I have 9 inches. Okay, from that 9 inches plus the length of the gown is 61. That is 70. Okay. So at this, I'm going to place my tape on this point here. Then I'll rotate my tape. Make sure that then my tape doesn't move on this here. My tape doesn't move on this point. I'm going to mark out 70 this way, just like this. I'll be marking 70 until I get to the side or the other end of the fabric. Okay, I hope you understand that. So I can get a perfect length. Remember, this is a flay dress, not your regular straight dress. Okay, so we have to do that way so that we can get a perfect length. So I'll quickly do that. I'm going to do this off camera because my table is not big enough. I'm going to do it on the floor so I can get a perfect length, and I will show you. So I got a better view on the floor, so I decided to film the process. So like I told you, the length is 60. It's the length is actually 59, not 60. Please, it's 59 plus 1 inch hemming allowance will give me 60. Okay, so please take notes. So from this point, from the center front on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark my 60 inches. Okay, and this 60 inches here. Now from this point, please, I'm going to place my tape and also take the measurement again down to where I mark the 60. And what I have there is, let me be sure. What I have there is 69. Okay, so I'm going to place my tape, making sure my tape doesn't move from this point, like I explained earlier. My tape is not going to move from this point. Then I'll place my tape there, hold it down, then rotate 69 around the fabric so I can get a perfect hem. Okay, I hope you're not confused. This is not a regular dress, a straight dress that you can just place your tape and get your straight hemline. No, this is a place dress. So I'm going to place my tape here and I'll keep marking 69. Okay, my tape is still on that point. So I'm done marking out the length. I'll go ahead and cut it out. But before I do that, I want to shape out the side. So my client doesn't want her gown to be looking too wide. So what I did is just to reduce the way I spread out my hand this way. Okay. So I try to minimize the side, as in the way the side flares out. So that is it. Or if you want to, you can take the whole space here. Okay. So that's that. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'm done cutting out my dress, as you can see. I've also cut out the back. What I did is just to add a 1 inch zipper allowance at the back. Okay. So coming to the armhole, around the bust I added 0.5. I added 0.5, and coming to the shoulder tip, I didn't add any allowance at all. So what I did is, so from that bust area, I shape it to the shoulder tip because I want the shoulder tip to go in a bit. There is no sleeve, so I don't need to add any allowance there. Okay, so that's that. So I'll remove the back so we can concentrate on the front. So coming to the front, I'm going to explain that triangular shape you are seeing on the front again. So from the shoulder, I may mark out the under bust measurement, which is 15 inches. So instead of marking 15 inches, I mark 14 and a half. I hope you are seeing this well. So instead of marking 15 inches, I mark 14 and a half, because by the time I fix my yoke, it will go back to 15 inches. Okay, so from there I mark my bust point, which is at 11 inches. At that 11 inches, the distance between the bust point and the under bust is 4 inches. So at the bust point, I went up by 4 inches and mark 4 inches. Okay, so at that 4 inches, that becomes my over bust measurement. Okay, so another thing I did is to mark the nipple to nipple. The nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 will give me 4 and a half. Sorry, will give me 4 inches. So at that over bust point, I uh, place my tape and mark a nipple to nipple measurement of 4 inches. But instead of marking 4 inches, I mark 3.5 because I have to join the main fabric to my yoke. So by the time I join, it will return to 4 inches. I hope you get that. So at that point, I connect the nipple to nipple point straight to the under bust point to have my V shape. I don't know whether you're seeing it. So there is a slanted line I have there. So coming to the armhole, I came down by 1.5 and I connect straight to my nipple to nipple points. So that's that about the triangular shape you are seeing at the front. Okay. So what we're going to do now is to cut out the triangular shape so we can use it to cut the yoke. So I'm going to do that now. So watch so that you can see the shape well. Okay. this is it. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see the shape? So another thing I have to do is to cut out the neckline for the front. So this is my neckline. And also the armhole. So this is it. So this is it. So I'm going to transfer this to the next fabric I showed you earlier, which is this. So I'm going to transfer this, and when I'm done doing that, I'm going to fix it back to the main fabric. So I want to open up the main fabric so I can see the V shape well. So this is what it looks like. Can you see? Can you see the shape? And this is what the yoke is going to look like. Can you see? Can you see? You can see it's now making sense. Can you see? So I'm going to do that, cut this, I'm going to transfer this to the next fabric, then join to the body of this, to this one. Then I'll come back and show you how to cut the collar. So this is the front. I'm joining the yoke to the main body, as you can see. Can you see? It's looking beautiful already. Can you see? Can you see the side? Can you see the center? Can you see? So that's that for the front. Now for the back, I've gone ahead to cut out facing for the back. So I didn't use any particular measurement for the facing. What I did is just to eyeball it and I cut it out. So I will further, you can see, I'll further reshape the facing this way. Can you see? So this is the neckline, this is armhole. So I'll go ahead and iron and interface into it, and I fix it to the back, then fix the zipper. Okay. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to cut the bishop collar. You can see that the bishop collar is quite high. Okay. So the measurements I'll be working with is 18 inches. The round neckline of the dress is 18 inches. So I've folded the fabric into four. You can see. And I'm going to divide the 18 inches by 3, okay? Because I'm making a half flay, so I will divide by 3. If I'm making a full flay, I will divide by 6. So if I divide if I divide 18 inches by 3, I should have a 6 inches. So my radius is 6 inches, so I'll go ahead and mark it out this way. You see. So the height of the collar is going to be 2 1/4 because I want the collar to be as high as the one you're seeing on the thumbnail. So I want it to be 2 1/4, and I need 1/4 to close the top part. I need 1/2 inch to join to the neckline of my gown. So altogether should be 3 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark 3 inches this way. Can you see? Now connect the points. So before I cut out, I'll make sure that I have the 18 inches measurement is complete. Okay. So here I have more than 9 inches because I need 1/2 inch to close the side. Okay. So it's enough. It's more than enough. Is more than enough. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. Remember that this is on fold. Is I folded into two. Okay. So by the time I open it up, I should have a 18 inches. So I'm cutting two. One is going to serve as a facing and one is going to serve as the main collar. So that's it. If I want, I will open the side and close it by 1/2 inch. But I'm going to find a way to manipulate this so that I can fix it without opening the side. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just to close the down part, and I will fix the lower part to the neckline of my dress. So when I'm done doing that, I'll couple the dress and I'll come back and show you the finished look. So I'm done sewing. As you can see how beautiful the gown is looking. It's looking more beautiful. Can you see the neckline? Can you see the visual color? This is going to sit so well on my client's neck. Can you see the back? Can you see the back? Looking so beautiful, clean and neat. Can you see? So I'm going to open up the back so you can see how it looks like. So there's a full length of the gown. Can you see? So this is my back. This is the back of the dress. Can you see? So this is the back facing. Can you see? So this is how it looks on the mannequin. Looking so beautiful. Can you see? If you like what you're seeing, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next one.